Hey guys, Mr. Z1. Today we're in the shop. We're gonna go on a quest to follow the torque and make sure we're managing all of it to the ground like champions. So you've got a Z, G, or Q. It's got an independent rear suspension that is placed together with 3 points of mounting into a subframe that is on bushings mounted. Very, very common that we see extreme wear on the bushings that are suspended on the rear of the differential. Oftentimes on a air suspension bushing from the very early Zs, you'll see they're cracked or torn. On later models, like after the early 04 production, you'll see that they are, maybe you've got the tear of death on the subframe. If you see that, then just be certain you've got problems, and you probably already feel them when you're driving. You go on and off power. Significant improvements to be made back there for a driver, not just in the day-to-day, but everything in between, from the commute, when you're going off power, making gear changes, that back road drive where you're trying to call for torque and you're looking for it to be dependable and quicker to your demand, and at the launch scenario when you're really trying to put power down and you want to make sure that everything is behaving and delivering torque to the tire. So why and what does each piece of these systems do? Let's start at the diff bushing. That's what everybody usually sees goes bad first. Keep in mind you're sending a lot of torque to the back of the vehicle. Say you're making 200 foot-pounds up front and you go through a modifier on the multiple in the first or second gear. So we jump that up a few hundred foot-pounds or multiply it out. So if we're at 200, let's just go to 600. Then we're gonna run out back. We're gonna go through 3-5 ratio, and all of a sudden we're well over 1,000, or knocking on 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. I should do the math on that rather than just make it up as I go here. Just do that, do the thing. So you're delivering all that torque to the rear end, and when it's fresh and new, it kind of could put up with it, but after a while that bushing gave up the ghost, and now it's just weak and it thuds. Additionally, it spurs and feeds into worse wheel hop. So you got a car that's like late into your response. When it does hook, it doesn't do it and set in a way that's healthy. You spin more, you're slower, and you may break more things. So address that diff bushing. We've got some great options on that. Urethane, I would say most popular for many of our users that are running their vehicle on the street or even some sporting track events and stuff. Not huge increase in NVH, but you really go ahead and kind of restore and improve the position of how the diff's going to be cradled. If you are, I'd say, more of a performance enthusiast and you want to take it up the ladder a bit further, then you're going to add one of our diff braces that's going to tie it together, make the car feel more sorted in the rear, much more responsive on the torque delivery when you're calling for it, and even on the decel as you're kind of balancing a car down that back road and you want to use a little engine brake and help you set and get that turn in you want. The diff braces are a fantastic addition here. Once especially you've kind of shored that portion of the system up and you continue to load a vehicle, if you watch it, like we got some videos under the car here, you see the entire subframe will flex significantly. So we've got solutions that are, again, non-invasive, no drilling or modification or cutting, that go in between the bushings and their bore. Those bushings often are air suspended. They have a lot of room for flex and movement to isolate NVH, but they get wear and tear over time. It's going to flex more, and just again, you're back in the situation where the car feels lethargic in response to your commands. It's a little less planted even through the corners. Specifically in the corners, I'd say I noticed that the subframe collars really help you, kind of like you're leaning pressure on the tire, the rear suspension. You want to lay down some power and have a nice exit. Predictability and control. You get a lot more confidence in the vehicle because it will be more consistent with its behavior. But these are great. You can just do this on-car lift support, start loosening all of the points on the subframe, take them off one at a corner. You're going to slip in some top inserts, maybe an insert collar where called for. Air suspension bushings will fill that void so it can't bounce around all over the place, and just kind of cup and preload that rubber so that it's just shored up a bit. You're not converting to a solid rear subframe bushing set that's going to carry all the gear noise and NVH from the road and the drivetrain. Minimal increase in this, in my opinion, but like risk versus reward on the performance gain versus the effort and cost, huge. These are the no-brainers. So if you're interested in fixing your car and doing it in steps how you'd want, or you want to save a bit and grab it as a bundle, be sure to check the site under that drivetrain section. If you have questions about it, does this work for me or not, just reach out to our guys. They're here for you.